When Chekhov saw the long winter, he saw a winter bleak and dark and bereft of hope. Yet we know that winter is just another step in the cycle of life. But standing here amongst the people of Puxatawny and basking in the warmth of their hearths and hearts, I couldn't imagine a better fate than a long and lustrous episode of Cheat Codes. It's February 2nd, everybody. Draw your own conclusions of the year of our Lord 2017. Welcome to episode 123 of the Cheat Codes podcast. Thank you for tuning in. We're always glad to have you with us. The next hour is us drinking a few beers, and we're going to go over our favorite bits from the past week in video game, tech, and pop culture news. We're coming to you from a groundhog burrow amidst the reoccurring nightmare of a middling weatherman in Pennsylvania. My name is Joe Erskine, and I am your host, and I'm here with Cheat Codes producer and editor, Mr. Jed, my name is Jed, Mr. Joe, Ned Ryerson Arroyo.
Fucking A. Hi, I'm Jed. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, Cheat Codes core panelist, Mr. Nikk, Puxatawny Phil Golesh.
Hey.
And Microsoft Cortana team content writer and good friend of the show, Ms. Alexandra, Miss Lancaster Lucas.
Is that the woman who runs the B&B?
Yes.
Just for,
Yes,
I'm flattered. Oh. Great.
Okay. It was that or Rita, so.
Yeah, great choice.
Okay.
Well, there's Nancy.
Oh, true. All right, fine.
Again, great choice.
Let's just watch the movie.
We'll be back in a minute, guys. Everybody press pause. On this episode, we'll say a prayer and drink to world peace to sort out the following. The actual hidden cost of Easter eggs. Wrong holiday reference here, but we're going to go with it. The Oculus ZeniMax lawsuit was settled for $500 million. So, like a quarter of what Facebook paid for it. And for vague thematic accuracy, let's talk about human hibernation for real. All right? And for the lightning round, we'll stand watch at Gobbler's Knob to see if a rodent predicts more winter in hopes of making sense of these bits. Paris Hilton was supposed to be a boss in South Park Stick of Truth. Too bad. But we're going to have some fun with it, with that in mind. And you can now use your Amazon Echo to play a murdery mystery game, because that's what I want an AI to talk to me about. Murder. Alexandra, welcome back. It's always nice to see you. Congrats on the new gig. Newish. Since we've seen you anyway, it's new. Tell us what you can about it, or anything else that you've got coming up. 'Cause you're a busy person, and there's always many fingers in many different pies. So I'm curious what's cooking.
Well, thanks again for having me. It's been a while. I miss you guys a lot. So I'll speed through because I know we have a lot of fun stuff to talk about. So on the Cortana team, there's a lot of language analysis, debates about slang, like lol versus lol, for instance. Very important.
Wow.
Yes.
And the Z, the inevitable
What about
Z.
lols?
Of course. Oh, no,
Yeah,
I think
lols.
that's a solid no. We've decided. So are you guys, let's be serious here. Okay, so.
Grammar prevails to some extent. Yeah.
Jesus. So, I work with a great team of empathetic folks with diverse perspectives, and we're doing our best to make sure, we're developing her voice, tone, characterization into a unique, helpful, and, trustworthy digital assistant. So, pretty much just trying to steer clear of sex bot territory, because if it's beautiful, Twitter will ruin it. That's what we've learned.
Yeah, well.
If anybody can speak to
Faye.
that, it's probably Microsoft, I
Or
imagine.
Tay.
Faye, right?
Tay.
Tay, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she's.
Well, I didn't even think about it until literally right now, but talking about Alexa and the Amazon thing,
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll have some comments.
It's all tied together. So, just other quick things, just really quick.
Sure.
Around the same time, I actually got hired as a game writer for Immerse Games. So they, it's an indie studio that we launched and are continuing to work on Taito Online, which is an educational MMORPG that teaches kids about ecology in a Star Trek type futuristic utopia.
Oh, God. That's so great.
It's super cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Nick doesn't ever get excited about anything, and I feel like Nick just got excited. Hey?
I'm so excited. I have nothing to. All I've been thinking about lately is Star Trek anyways.
I saw his face light up.
He's
I
like,
did.
Aw.
Yeah, he was like,
Oh.
Yeah, we're like, here's what the world should be like.
Yeah.
Let's try to live there. Some quick other stuff. I'm working on a chapter for a book on romance and sexuality in single-player RPGs. So I'm analyzing prominent representations of sexuality within the matriarchal Asari in the Mass Effect series. So,
Cool.
oh, cool.
that's a lot
Any
of
Witcher
fun.
stuff in there? Just because? Or is that too patriarchy in that realm?
I guess I needed to focus on one games
Right on.
or series.
Keep it focused. I like it.
But very cool, and we should talk about that after.
Okay.
Final thing is just preparing for a talk and a roundtable at GDC this year. So it's already less than a month away, which is terrifying.
What's the theme of the talk?
Oh, the talk is focused on optimizing your resume for game industry positions.
Oh, cool.
So it's a couple folks from Digipen Student Affairs and also Sonia Michaels, and then
Rachel?
Rachel Thompson, and then Mojan Ahmadi, and then David Lau, who's a game economist at Amazon. So.
Wow.
Rock and roll. Which day and what time are you giving your talk?
Much
at GDC?
Thanks for asking. So,
Plug your shit, son.
So the talk is Thursday at 10 a.m. In the Career Theater, I believe is the location. And then my
The week of GDC for
the week of GDC.
anybody that was unclear about that. Yeah, right.
There is but one Thursday.
Well, we're on repeat. It's Thursday, and
Right.
it'll always be this Thursday.
Perpetually
I got you,
giving
babe.
GDC talks.
Lord, so.
Well, as predicted, a lot going
a
on.
lot going on.
Right. Fair enough.
Couple things.
Thank you for the update. It is very good to see you. Thank you for helping us out and coming out tonight to do the show. Gentlemen,
Right?
I see you every day, so I care very little.
You don't gotta check
about-
in.
We're fine. We're good. Yeah? Great. Very quickly, let's talk about what we're washing the episode down with. It's Groundhog Day, and we're gladly stuck in our podcast loop once again. Luckily for us and for you, it's not the same episode over and over and over again. So to celebrate or lament the fact that we're getting 6 more weeks of winter, we're enjoying some Believer Double Red Ale from the folks at Ninkasi Brewing. It'll keep us warm or thin the blood enough to fool us into thinking so. So cheers, everybody. We can clink it. We can clink a few glasses and in our bottles. Hey, sound effects. Get that Foley mic. What's up? All right. We're gonna do this.
Number one.
Everyone loves. Should I start again? No, it's okay.
Number one.
Everyone loves Easter eggs. It's true. Wait, one more time.
Number one.
Okay. Everyone loves Easter eggs. It's true. They're that fun. Explicit acknowledgement of developers to players saying thanks or well done or we like the same stuff and that's cool. But Polygon took a look at what those development costs are and if there's actually any deep planning involved in the implementation and inclusion in a game and essentially sort of just explaining one of the best things about games in a way a lot of us may not have ever thought about it before. Run-on sentence. I actually thought this was kind of cool because it's something we hadn't really ever talked about on the show before. And it's just kind of like a deep look at a handful of developers and the way they either plan or don't plan or just try and allocate certain resources to make sure that Easter eggs go into a game. Because I feel like, and I might be wrong about this, but Easter eggs are, it's not an exclusive to video games thing, but it's something that video games kind of pioneered or at least made more or helped kind of like bring to the forefront of pop culture. In a way,
I never
guess?
would have said, "Hey, check out that Easter egg in that movie," unless I heard that term first in video games. Probably.
I think that's a fair statement. They are rewarding, right? Like anybody with, not to go into like the gamer type thing, but who's an explorer, feels a certain amount of satisfaction in their play style when they go out of their way to spend some extra time looking at places that otherwise maybe most players wouldn't have looked, and when they find something, it's kind of satisfying. It's a good thing.
Origin of Easter egg? Anyone?
Do you know the answer to this?
No.
Oh.
Actually, I do know.
Research fail.
I do know
Dang.
the first Easter egg because I read Ready Player One.
Go for
like
it.
Any,
Listening.
Like any good game.
I listened to Will Wheaton read Ready Player One to me.
Oh.
Via audible.com. But
This comes back from Atari days where they didn't allow the game developers to put their names in credits.
Oh.
And
I
so
think I
the
remember
Easter
that, yeah.
egg was a hidden
Buried
key
in the code itself,
Was it
or-
Adventure? What's it? Oh shit! Now I can't remember the name of the game. That's cool. Fucking fail.
we do quality research. here,
Yeah.
guys.
No shit. Right. But it was a hidden cave that you could get to in the game that just had the developer's name in it because
That's cool.
he wasn't allowed to put it in the
That
credits.
reminds me very much of our comrade Mr. Morris, who's on the team at Bosky, and they're working on Lawbreakers right now. And they put a monument in the game with all the developers' names on them. So kind of like the exact
that's
opposite, which
cool.
is
They all-
kind of red.
They all died in the Cataclysm or something.
The moon shat- the
and the
shattering.
shattering.
It's the
Yeah,
shattering.
I believe it's called. We digress. However, I think so.
Never
What's
forget.
right?
It was Adventure. God damn it! It was called Adventure.
It's called Adventure.
All right. So I'm not that terrible.
Well done, well done. I feel like so the article does go into they talk to some people from Techland, the guys who did Dying Light. They talked to people from CD Projekt Red who did The Witcher, and they talked to some other ones that I can't remember at the moment. However, we'll get to it in the show notes as soon as Mr. Arroyo starts scrolling.
I just wanted to talk.
I know, and we will. But there are basically what happens is from indie developers to even AAA developers, like we see this kind of drastic difference between the amount of resources and time and money spent to kind of actually happen to do this. So when we find these things, they seem very small and very intricate and very kind of like dilated, or what's the opposite of dilation?
Undilation.
Correct.
Antidialation.
But we see different things, like people, the Techland guys who made Dying Light said that they tried so hard to get animals into the game for so long, and they just didn't have the budget for it. They ran out of time, that they tried to make like an Easter egg out of it, and even then it became kind of an issue. So they actually made just assets that were not the chicken thing that they wanted to put in. They couldn't even put a chicken in the game, so they just made a bunch of things like cardboard signs and like graffiti. And if you did a certain thing, collected this certain item, and put it in a certain place, then you'd get a chicken icon in your mirrors when you're driving cars, I think is how that went in the Polygon article. But
the chicken thing actually compels me more because of the subtext there, which is that there were people who wanted to put this Easter egg in, and it came from the fact that Dying Light lacked animals because they had to change engines halfway through development.
That's right.
So they couldn't bring the environment to life with the animals they wanted. So when they did their first DLC, they said, we want to at least add chickens, like as a joke. And then they started really trying to pitch it by making assets and then pitching it to the company. And they were like, no, because we have to animate them. We got to do all this work.
right.
So no, not approved.
Risk reward.
All of the
balance
stuff
is-
that you talked about after that is the fun part, where they were like, fine, fuck you then.
I'm
We'll
going to
just
draw
put chicken stickers
a crayon
everywhere.
chicken
and
on a
put a
cardboard
chicken wherever
thing.
we can.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
so
fun.
basically every artist was just like, can I put a chicken on it? 'Cause that's pretty, and then it just showed up everywhere in the game, which is hilarious.
I feel like, and kind of like what you were alluding to, Joe, was the whole idea that Easter eggs may have been kind of like one of the earliest forms of developer rebellion, right? Like where they're like,
It actually is. It's based on the first one.
exactly, but very much that kind of idea where like so many, especially when it comes to AAA games or like the bigger titles, where a lot of the people are just kind of cogs in this much larger machine. They get to put a piece of themselves into the game.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, and that's the cool thing. I think that's the thing that everybody tacitly appreciates about Easter eggs, to a degree. However,
Not Nick though.
he's shaking his head.
I-
But I'm going to defer to Alexandra at the moment.
Oh no! I mean, Nick, go ahead.
No, that's all right.
I have some thought. I mean,
I didn't really have anything important to say. I was just going to say, describing Easter eggs like that makes it seem a lot more personal to them. Like, it's more of like an inside joke even. Like, so it's a little bit harder for me to like get behind like the whole like, hey, let's put Easter eggs in games or something for our own self-investment in the game. I've already invested myself in the game by contributing to it on the project. Now I'm just including an inside joke that I guess before wasn't as readily accessible to the public, but now that we have the internet and everything, that story gets out and we can
Much
read
quicker.
why there's
that inside
chickens,
joke starts to be more inclusive.
Yeah.
For sure.
I'd say the Easter eggs that I appreciate the most, especially as someone who kind of came back to games as an adult after a very long hiatus, are ones that you could identify even if you don't really know much about games from the past 10 years. So things like in Skyrim, they have the Headless Horseman just go by at certain times, and that's just sort of lovely. And then the Wabbajack, if y'all are familiar with that weapon, it does things randomly. So every once in a while, it'll turn your opponent into a chicken, speaking of chickens, or into a sweet roll for no reason. Or even another quick thing is in Dragon Age Origins, there is a note you can stumble upon with two small bodies, and the note says, "Why, oh why didn't we just take the flying eagles?" So it's like very clear.
Little Hobbit, little
Lord of the Rings action
sure,
there.
yeah.
Right away. And then
It's
you
a
feel
valid
like, oh, I
question.
belong. Like, this is, I should
So
be
you
playing
like
this.
you like basically pop culture or relevant historical references or something in
A
there.
touchstone to something else, like
something-
another IP,
something
or another,
real,
right?
In the midst of your fictional game, you've got this real thing that connects you back to reality with the
Hobbits aren't
developers.
real.
Huh?
Hobbits aren't real.
No, but like that.
I know,
Well-
is a
I know what
real
you mean. I know what
thing.
No, fair enough. I appreciate that. No, it's true, and I that's what makes like Easter eggs great, right? Across the board, because it is that inclusion where like as a player you get to spend all this time, and even if you go out of your way to kind of like take that extra time to discover something, there's the reward element, and there's also that idea that like, oh, I'm in on a joke that and it's a very It's maybe the more explicit, almost like fourth wall breaking kind of dialogue coming through between the designers or the developers and the player, right?
It's exactly that. But then also Easter eggs, it's weird because they can be really extensive or just incredibly simple. Like, oh, did you know that Marcus Slato's initials are on the bottom of Master Chief's boot? Well,
very
if
much
you
like
didn't know
Andy
that,
from.
Cool.
if you didn't know that before, you know that now. And
there's no way in the game you can actually get a perspective.
You can if you get the right ragdoll in multiplayer and see it
And pause it at the right time
yeah.
or something.
And those kind of that's a really, really simple one someone can throw in. But then you've got stuff like in Diablo with that freaking rainbow
Whimsyshire.
Yeah.
I love Whimsyshire.
Like, that's fucking so cool.
Is that the Cal
But
level?
you
the
realize
Cal level,
how
also,
it's
though.
it's
Like-
it's like a callback to it. Yeah.
does I mean, can you even fathom the amount of work that it takes to pull off an entire level with all those assets with that much manpower? There is actual hours. There's budget. There's production that goes into that one.
So
is that an Easter egg?
To that point, maybe I don't know, but to that point specifically, Techland talks about how they budgeted 2% based on 2% based on like people that just did it on their own or came in on weekends to their Easter egg budget, right? 2% of their resources. But the guys who did Stanley Parable said they spent about 30%. Which so from an indie game standpoint, like put that aside, the whole indie game versus like if you want to call Techland or Dying Light a AAA game, which I guess it is, right? Because Microsoft published shit out of that. And,
Yeah, it's a AAA game.
right. So this is not like a 1-to-1 ratio by any stretch of the imagination, but when you start thinking about how like people talk about when they're working on Easter eggs versus when they're on like kind of the slog of just developing basic systems or even more advanced systems that take more time, like it becomes something, it's a labor of love more than anything, right? But when you start to actually quantify the amount of time, money, whatever it takes to get this thing done, it's kind of interesting to me. I'm like, that's a drastic gap. 2% for a AAA game goes into Easter eggs versus 30% of Stanley Parable.
To be fair,
Stanley
Stanley
Parable
Parable is an Easter egg.
Right, okay, absolutely, and they allude to that in the article as well, like without a doubt. But like those two, like looking at it based on paper. If I was looking at that spreadsheet and I had never played those games, I've been like, you're fucking wasting your money, man. What are you doing? You know, like, but regardless, I just thought that was like a super interesting kind of thing. But
I have a question.
Sure.
If you start budgeting for a company for Easter eggs, do they really feel like Easter eggs anymore?
Well, I wanted to mention.
it's a good question.
I feel like Easter eggs have. I don't know if this is really the course that it really took, but Easter eggs have sort of like become achievements or like unlocks or finding things in levels, like collection quests inside of like open world games where you have to collect 50 tokens, like jumping off of buildings into hay barrels or something.
Sure.
Now you have big head mode.
Yeah. So, is that an Easter egg or something
Boom
something?
shakalaka. I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Or it's a secret, right? Like whatever it is. Like there's these things that are not necessarily advertised as part of the game, but they are discovered and therefore kind of. Yeah, I think it is.
Well, I'm just suggesting
that.
that maybe that Easter eggs, that things that were hidden in the game, or like reasons to go find things. Like somebody would read about an Easter egg and go.
I think that's right.
Go find it in the game. That kind of turned into, hey, let's put a token there just so. And then make it a fetch quest so like everybody can go visit this place or something.
Yeah, totally. I think it's not just a pop culture reference. It's this thing where like we can make this kind of weird breadcrumb trail for players to follow, and we can just do whatever the fuck we want with it. But it becomes something vaguely or very overtly outside of the game. You know what I mean? One or the other. So.
And I don't know until they draw you to it, which is what Nick's getting at. Like once a company puts budgeting and like production power behind it, then
What
they
does it
come up
become?
later with ways to like bait you into finding it, which then it's no longer.
So why do
really
they even need to go to the internet to search for these secrets when we could just make it part of the game, I guess, or something? I don't know. Like it's
This is why I'm
It's a fine line, I guess, maybe.
I want
Or
to go
less
around the
fine
horn.
line.
I don't even know
what
that's
you guys
what-
think about this, like, because I like when you said it was rebellion of like programmer rebellion. It feels more accurate as a description of an Easter egg to me personally,
Sure.
and everything outside of that is just like a fun quip that the production intentionally wanted you to find at some point. I personally feel like Easter eggs are the rebellion pieces, the things that probably the production team nor the publishers nor anyone even knew was there.
Yes.
A true Easter egg to me is the one
The one that will get you fired if they find it.
Correct.
That's an Easter egg.
Potentially.
All right. What does everyone else define?
So I put one in we're at work. We're coming up on a milestone, and I put an Easter egg
And if
that is only accessible by people that know how to, like, developers. This is not like something that's going to be in the game that ships.
I get that, but those things do end up in the code somehow, and then you end up shipping that, and then someone finds it, and they will.
If you
and
forget,
then people get in trouble.
and that's fine.
Yeah.
Everyone at the company that should knows about it, and it's not even hooked up to be found in the current build. But there was an article that ran, I think, on Polygon, not for nothing, that was about how the John Wick video, or like a hypercut of a John Wick scene with, instead of gunshot effects, it was Michael Jackson noises. I was inspired. Our animator came to me. She's like, "This is hilarious. We should do something like this." And I was like, "You're right." So I did. I created like a sound array of Michael Jackson noises that attached to. Yeah, exactly. And there was a lot of that. So like doing a certain action repeatedly that happened a lot, you would get.
All right, we're getting off base though.
I'm just saying, this was not an act of rebellion necessarily, but it is an Easter egg for sure.
Fine.
But internal.
Fair enough.
So.
I mean, I did something like, it wasn't really an Easter egg. It was more of trolling our boss in the sense that we had these abilities, whatever that means in our game, that I just like hard coded a bunch of Halo gun names in it just for fun. And
nice.
It's there and I made it easily recognizable so that when he sees it, he'll know that he has to change it because he's worked on Halo for it.
Otherwise, we ship with energy sword in the HUD. Everyone's like, what?
Oh, shit.
So that's not really an Easter egg. That I guess more of a troll on the boss. But
Is that going to get you fired?
It would if it shipped.
It would if it shipped.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if it would. I don't know. Like,
Okay.
yeah. I just
Alexandra, what? How do you define it?
Well, I was thinking, I was of the one Easter egg type of thing that we're doing on Title Online, and I hadn't thought of it as an act of rebellion, but as we're talking about it, so the one thing is so the age group we're targeting is not really interested in learning about language so much. So ecology, yes, language not so much, which is tough for the writers on the team.
Right.
And so I guess it's sort of our act of rebellion. We've been scattering books around the different areas with like punny names. So like
I love puns.
these robots that clean up, recycle, discern between recycling and trash are called tidy bots. So we have like a book called I Tidy Bot, which is like a very serious like
As opposed to iRobot.
Exactly.
Like, yes,
yeah.
okay.
Good job, Joe.
Thank you.
You got it.
Asimov, you guys.
Proud of you. So no, thank you for getting it. But seriously, but yeah, there are little things like that. But I mean,
maybe somebody listening didn't get it. All right, maybe I helped
good.
them.
All right.
It's good. I
More?
much appreciated.
Yeah.
Please tell me there's more.
Oh, there are, but that's for.
Then you'd be
I can't
ruined.
give them all.
Yeah, you're
away.
right. You can't. You can't.
But they're around. Find them all.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you had this plan or anything, but I was just curious if anybody had an example of their best favorite Easter egg that they found in the game.
Favorite Easter egg is the one that I put into our game.
And what?
Because it's
what
Joe.
video,
You played it. It's amazing.
What's an Easter egg game
pretty
in a game that you've played that's released that is
Okay.
memorable?
This is it's not very memorable actually because everybody hated the shit out of this game. But in the Wolverine Origins movie game time,
God.
they actually did a whole portal. There's like a whole you walk through this wall at one point after like slashing it a bunch or whatever, and with your adamantium claws. And then there's this piece of cake, and on the wall in graffiti is the cake is a lie. It's basically they're calling out
nice.
Portal inside of a
Okay.
Wolverine game. So
That's cool.
that's the one that stands out in my memory the most. But.
I don't even want to share one. I just want to share an anecdote of a colleague of ours who was one of the higher ups at a game company, at a AAA game company, and to further the act of rebellion concept, he had an employee who had tried to slip an Easter egg into the game that they spotted. So he had a tendency to kind of do that. Like every time you do a task, he'd kind of like put in an Easter egg, kind of messing around or whatever. Yeah. And so their first thought was, well, we should probably get him into the meeting room and we'll sit him down and just say, like, can you please stop putting Easter eggs in? And it turns out that the act of telling him not to do it led to a hell of a lot more showing up, but they just were hidden better. So that's it. That's all I want to say.
Act of rebellion.
Yep.
Very good. All right.
What's your favorite?
I don't know. I think the only one that I can really think of that really had any meaningful effect on me was the clicking on peons in Warcraft 2 multiple times or StarCraft or something. It's like, stop poking me or something. Yeah.
Sure.
I don't know. Does that count as an Easter egg? I think so.
I think it totally
it breaks
does.
the fourth wall.
Absolutely
Yeah.
does. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Yes, Saya. Anyway,
Job's done.
job's done.
All right.
Do you have one before?
I mean, that Lord of the Rings one I like a lot.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
like Yoshi's Story, you can find hidden egg, like actual eggs that are like
like
extra
painted
lives.
Easter eggs.
Well, they're
Non-spotted dinosaur eggs.
so you can find the white Yoshi and the black Yoshi, which end up being extra lives. So, but
Oh.
the only way to find it is to explore obnoxiously
That's
places
good.
they don't lead you at all. So
In Halo, there is a family of monkeys that have the faces of the developers.
that's amazing.
Anyway, all right. Should we?
We should move on.
I just want to say, speaking of Halo, weren't the skulls like at some point just considered Easter eggs? Or I mean,
Probably.
Oh, like
It's
the
a
grunt
secret.
bird
No,
they
I
showed,
mean,
you know.
in the first game that came out, did the skulls not come out until the second game though?
I don't remember.
I think it was only until the second game when the skulls came up, but I can't be
definitely
sure.
3 and on.
I don't. It was never published in the games, like or in the manual. You buy the game, you open the manual, it's like, hey, there's nothing about these skulls or anything there.
Mm-hmm.
But you could go online and look for them and search for them. So does that count as an Easter egg if
I
there's
don't
no
think so,
tutorial
because-
for it?
No, because once you pick them up, they're in the menu, and you they're part of the UI.
also
you go in
changes
and you pick a
gameplay.
skull, and it changes.
No,
gameplay.
I get that it changes gameplay, and it was
I don't know. I
intentional,
wouldn't
but I
I
don't.
call it a secret for sure.
Yeah.
Secrets.
I think I remember when that came out, people started talking about Easter eggs a lot more. So
No, for sure. There might be like the Venn diagram. There might be some overlap there.
yeah.
I'm just not sure what the percentage is on the overlap.
All right. Well, now we need a quick number 2, don't we?
We do. Well, this.
This one will be quick.
I hope you had your X-Lax if you need a quick number 2.
Number 2.
Relevant.
The ZeniMax versus Oculus lawsuit over VR came to a close this week, with Oculus agreeing to pay ZeniMax $500 million. Or for reference, about 1/4. I feel like I'm pulling this quote out of my ass. I didn't research it, but it was about $2 billion, right? That Facebook paid for Oculus. Is that accurate?
I think it was somewhere around there, but
I believe so.
they're saying like it was closer to 4 after everything else or something.
Well, that's what
but-
ZeniMax wanted. They wanted $4 billion,
Okay.
$4 billion in damages. But okay, let's assume that I'm right. Why assume that they won 1/4 of what Facebook paid for it. Joke's over. While the case ended, I have a feeling none of this is really going to go away, or it only seems like it until more big companies rally their wagons of lawyers. We're still going to lobby for Tyler Perry to play every person involved in the saga for the TV series or movie. Please reference previous episode.
I mean, it could be Eddie Murphy, but
They could, but then we're just like, is this Dr. Doolittle VR? What's happening? Anyway, so the jury agreed. There are some interesting kind of like facts about this case, the way like the judgment came down and all. I want to highlight them quickly before we go off the rails and move on. But the jury agreed that Palmer Luckey violated his NDA with ZeniMax. He was, I guess, an intern there or something, or had enough like correspondence with John Carmack about their research that there was a violation of NDA. However, the jury did not agree that Oculus stole trade secrets from ZeniMax when they hired John Carmack, who was working at ZeniMax at the time on VR specifically, and then moved over to Oculus.
God, all they need is a rowing team, and it's Social Network again. Like,
Again,
it's
it's pretty amazing. But they need to be twins.
yeah.
ZeniMax had initially sought roughly $4 billion in damages and compensation. It feels like a lot of hubbub for nothing. Like I don't understand that people outside this bubble may not give a shit, but this was kind of a big deal, and it's not going to necessarily go away because ZeniMax is not necessarily done. Like they are going to try and kind of like hinder the way Oculus is being sold.
are they going to appeal?
In fact, to the point where like future models of Oculus, if ZeniMax is successful to the point that they want to be, may or may not be available. So.
They could just say ZeniMax on them. We don't know. Yeah.
Or that. Yeah. Sure. Why not? But it's a bunch of dick measuring between a bunch of big companies is what it feels like to a certain degree.
So money's being thrown around. A lot of it.
A lot. Big numbers. In fact, to the point, and this is not verified, but I did see an article where they said that Palmer Luckey was going to have to pay $50 million out of pocket. Brendan Uribe was going to have to do $150 million out of pocket as the former president, who's now back on just one of the development teams as like a head. But yeah, I'm kind of curious how Zuckerberg took it. You know what I mean? He's like, I know what it's like to lose $100 million satellite. Now I just lost $500 million for fucking virtual reality. It's not like,
Yeah, but at least Morgan Freeman wakes
is it
him up in the morning.
500 virtual million dollars or 500 real dollars? I don't know, but yeah. Yes, Morgan Freeman wakes him up in the morning because he got him to fucking voice his goddamn home AI. But
Yes.
I don't know.
Thank you.
I just
For spelling out the jokes again.
I'm nothing if not literal. But
I heard jokes are funnier if you explain them.
Allow me to explain that for everybody.
Me too.
See, the thing is, Nick was...
wait, I'm being dead serious. No, okay. Anyway, I it's done. This saga is over. I'm sure Lucky will go back into hiding, and everybody else is going to go back to their VR experiences. But in the meantime, I'm interested to see what you guys have to think
About this whole thing?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was expecting to stick around a little bit longer.
It did seem to end
yeah.
quickly.
Me too.
It went away really quickly, so it feels kind of like a cash grab. But
Yes.
the fact that there was a jury at all, I guess they never made a settlement then.
Yeah, it feels like it moved through as fast as a settlement normally
Yeah, it's
does.
like usually court cases don't go this quickly, and we hear about it next year or something. And we keep talking about it for a few months.
OJ was there and he tried to put the VR helmet on. It's like, it doesn't fit. OJ was played by Tyler Perry, by the way. Okay.
If the helmet fits.
You must have pressed X to quit.
That's pretty good. Or to pay respect.
To pay respect.
Okay. What do you got, Alex?
How many Easter eggs can we distribute out to this topic?
It's so tough. I feel like everyone's screaming VR from every direction right now, and it's just like a mad... Because of how quickly it happened, part of me is just like, do they just want to draw attention to this right now? Like, what is the...
It's a reasonable
underlying-
claim. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know, but I'm really sad we didn't get to see Tyler Perry's Palmer Lucky Goes to Jail. That would have been... Oh, well.
I'm wearing sandals everywhere. I got this athlete's foot.
So good.
I don't know or necessarily care about all of this, but I do feel like it's big video game news, and therefore we should mention it. I do think that we haven't seen the end of it, despite this case being settled. Like, this is still going to come around. ZeniMax is clearly on kind of like this path of like
Righteousness.
I was going to say vengeance, but yeah, sure. But I do not disagree either, Nick, with your claim that this is kind of a cash grab, because
It's a fun word.
because it also ties into the idea that yes, like there's this weird. Remember when we used to talk about VR, and when VR was like everybody's working together to solve all these interesting problems, and it's this like super community effort, and now it's kind of like fuck you, give me $500 million.
That was about to be my next point.
Right.
Because I do agree with you that this is their attempt, I
Keeping it
believe, to
relevant.
bring it back into the news again. But
Totally.
I feel like what they did was they wanted to make this coalition, this group, this community, and then as soon as it started falling apart, they realized that no one's going to listen until they just start suing everybody. And now everyone's just suing each other. And that's just going to happen for the rest of for as long and now it's just a part of that whole like legal department thing where Apple's always suing Microsoft for something and vice versa. But now it's just the VR world, and so much for community, because go fuck yourselves.
So does this mean that the marketing department at Oculus and or Facebook is now fired because that's how they're going to cover the 500? Because like, why? Who needs marketing when you have lawsuits, right? Like it's like any news is good news. Any
pretty sure you
publicity
need
is,
both, but
fair enough.
but
gotta-
still. It's weird. It's a huge departure. It happened really fast, and it's like almost a weird human experiment. Just look at
a month from now,
look at the
nobody's gonna
VR
remember.
community and go, remember when we all said we were going to get along?
Wasn't that
work out
fun
for us?
Wasn't that fun? Yeah.
All right, well,
Sorry.
was a good short one.
Sorry, Oculus. I guess. Yeah.
number 3.
New York Magazine reported on the Smithsonian report, saying that there's a study underway to find out if humans will ever evolve or forcibly adopt hibernation. You know, like bears. Obviously, the biggest implication here is to support long distance and extended space travel, should Elon Musk decide we need to go further than Mars. Pause for effect. The article makes the equally obvious joke that this sort of evolutionary or chemically induced advancement would have been helpful in early November of last year. But no one here gets that joke because we don't talk
Because
about
we don't talk about politics on
this
our
show.
show.
What do you mean? I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, round the horn. If you could hibernate for extended periods of time, would you hibernate?
Fuck yeah.
What's the purpose? Like, just as a normal...
Let's say that there was a situation in the world going on that you didn't want to have any part of or needed to hide from, and you decided that if I can just go to sleep and nobody's going to disturb me for X amount of time, and I could wake up and be like, that was a nice nap. Just call me Rip Van Winkle.
For that
you know what I mean? Like
for that purpose, no. I would use it for travel,
space
travel. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
But I would not use it to skip parts of
Large sections of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I'm pretty sure physiologically speaking, if you hibernate, it probably would extend your life to some degree. Given
You still
the way
age.
that you're,
Yeah.
yeah, no, but I'm pretty sure with the way your metabolism would work, and if it was actually possible, I'm pretty sure that it wouldn't just.
It's funny you mentioned.
Listen, your cells stop dividing, your telomeres stop like tearing off. You live longer. If you
Yeah,
hibernate,
maybe.
pretty much.
So you could use it to just be like, I'm not skipping it because I'm gonna live the same life. It extends my life through periods where I'd rather not be awake for it.
It's fair enough. They did mention this metabolic problem where speeding up and slowing it down can be damaging to multiple systems within your body.
Or it could help.
But
Don't know. Just try it.
I mean,
Give it a shot. Just drink this.
you don't know. Yeah, right here. I'm in a shady bar somewhere. Somebody hands it's like, here's a hibernation drink.
Fucking drink it.
Have that.
Oh my god.
What could go wrong, everybody?
Wow. That was rough.
It's dangerous, is what that was. They did mention the fact that pooping was
my
a
favorite
problem.
part of the article.
Well, I like the fact that their solution was like, "Don't worry, rectal catheters. We got this, everybody. We got this." It was a bit of a humorous take on this whole idea. I guess
Bears absorb it, right? Like
there are animals that hibernate that have evolved to the point where like they
don't
handle
urinate
their
during
waste
hibernation.
systems.
Yeah.
But bears, they stop up their butts with stoppers, so they don't poop.
Bears stuff up their butts with. That's too long for a title.
That's what they do. It's you could look it up. I can't think of what it's called. It's probably called like a bear anal plug or something. But
I'm pretty sure pine cone is fine. Pine cone works. Yeah.
And we're definitely not calling this show rectal catheters. So let's keep moving on for episode title.
What about the poo problem?
Yeah,
Right.
that's pretty good.
Wait,
Another.
do they use Easter eggs to?
No.
Now I'm just shoehorning it. All right, fine.
That's even worse. Okay.
Alexandra,
Please tell
save
me you
us.
have
Save us.
something
Save us,
enlightening to
please.
say.
I would very much like to hibernate for a time for a mental health break from things. I could definitely see value of that. Or there might be medical applications as well. I don't know enough, but probably there are benefits to be gained from people checking out for a while more research is done. So I could actually see a lot of positive applications, but the rectal catheters give me pause.
As they should, frankly.
It's only if you're constipated.
Right. It's a practical use, not a extended one. Anyway, as a parent,
You're just like, nope. You have more?
as the only parent, like I would have a hard time sleeping for more than I don't know what we normally sleep. I mean, look, as a parent, I don't
know
sleep a
that.
whole lot in the first place. However, more than 8 to 10 hours a night, like I still want to like hang out with my family. But I understand that while you're sleeping, time travels or your perception of time is altered.
No,
And
time travels slower when you sleep.
Fine. My point is that like I don't know if I could go like wake up and then feel okay about the fact that I haven't seen anybody that I care about for that long of an amount of time.
Let's okay, I agree. Yes, but let's maybe discuss it for the remainder of the topic in correlation to what the goal of it is. Like it's not like, hey, I'm having a bad day, bye wife and kid, I'm gonna go hibernate for a month. Like no, it's more like we're all getting on this spaceship together, like me and my wife and my kids, and I
think that's
we
the
all
general idea.
hibernate together
Right.
so that
Yeah.
we don't have to sit around and do the same crossword 100 times. or
Crosswords are
relive.
fun. What do you mean?
It'll start feeling like Groundhog Day before you actually reach your destination because you keep reliving the same moments over and over again.
Oh.
So, did you like that?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't very good, but it didn't work out.
Do you want my shoehorn? I have one right here. Would you like
exactly. That was definitely a shoehorn.
I was using it a second ago.
But seriously, it's just the monotony of sitting around while you travel. I mean, nobody likes to drive around across the country necessarily, to some degree. At some point, you got to deal with the fact that you're just sitting in a car for hours on end.
Okay.
The same thing. Imagine like years in a spaceship.
Well, passengers.
If you're asleep for that long,
Yeah, exactly.
Does at some point, like, does your brain kind of catch up and be like, I feel like I've been asleep for a really long time. Like, this dream is going on a little longer than I feel like I should have woken up like 6 or 7 times.
At some point, you got to just start lucid dreaming, and then you're lucid dreaming for years, and that would be kind of great. Like, if you just,
I mean, it could be.
like 2 months in, you're like, I've been in a dream for 2 months. Holy shit, I'm gonna be in a dream for like 8 more months. This is awesome. I'm gonna go punch my boss in
At
the
that
face.
point, aren't you just like playing a video game? At that point, kind
Well,
of.
I mean, have you ever lucid dreamed? Because
It's not like
great.
it's not like a video game. It's more like
You don't have necessarily direct control, but you definitely have more control.
No, you have
no,
direct
you can do,
control.
You
if
gotta
you're
do
lucid
whatever you
dreaming.
want. Almost. It depends. Like there's different levels
There's
of it.
external
Probably.
stimuli too that are affecting what's going on. But
No, yeah, definitely. But it's
But I did. I did it in retail job. I had a retail job, and then I learned how to lucid dream for some stupid reason. And because I watched Waking Life, and I learned that you can turn light switch on and off in
And-
real
and
life.
how to
and
cell
then when
shade
you're
animations
sleeping, you'll
into
do it by habit and
movie
realize that it doesn't affect the light, and that means you are dreaming. Blah blah blah. Anyway, I immediately realized I was dreaming and flew over to where I worked, and I punched my boss in the face, and it was great. All right, sorry.
did you get fired?
No, I was fucking dreaming.
Not an Easter egg then.
That's good.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That was good. Let me give you your shoehorn back.
Hey, there you go. Thank you. Yeah, no, I'm good on hibernation.
You're good?
I feel like I'm
Anyone
good on
else?
hibernation. I don't need it.
Nick?
you don't need
I don't
hibernation.
need it.
Would I hibernate? Or I mean, I guess we asked
For
myself
space
that for
travel.
space travel. I said yeah, but I mean, it gets complicated when you start going really fast because of the whole time relativity thing. Like, can we just go faster than the speed of light or something, and we don't have to deal with this shit?
I mean,
Right. Well, like until we discover ways to travel where time or distance doesn't matter anymore.
No, I get it. It's just like when you start moving closer to the speed of light, time speed slows down relative to you to
well,
the outlook, the person looking at you. I think
I can literally see you doing this on
Faster.
a dry
Yeah.
erase board in your head right now. It's amazing.
faster for them, slower for you.
Yeah.
Not actually, but if you traveled at the speed of light away and came back to Earth, everyone you knew would be aged terribly.
Yeah, but theoretically, like, yeah, if you were traveling at the speed of light towards like a planet that was 1 year away and you traveled at the speed of light, you would not age at all, and everybody else would age by a year.
A year.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's almost hibernation right there anyway. So we just got to get moving really fast, close to the speed of light. Obviously, stars are much further than like 1 light year away, so we still need to build in hibernation
That's why you
or something.
still need to hibernate.
Yeah, you still need
because
it.
even if you're going at the speed of light, are you like to
No,
get
no,
to
yeah.
any
Any
distant
distance,
star?
anything.
So what we're saying is the
Yeah.
hibernation is a temporary solution until we figure out like a propulsion system that can move.
Or a Stargate.
No,
If
yeah.
we can
Which
just
is
fucking
Stargate,
get a
yeah.
goddamn
Which is
Stargate.
right. Okay.
Yeah,
or with
that's-
the warp coil Star Trek, bringing it back.
Yep.
That's difficult because they're bending space in front of them and behind them, and so they're not actually moving. It's more like they form this
Oh god.
this
Give
bend
me a
of
piece
space
paper
around them.
really quick.
What?
Every sci-fi show ever is like, here's 2 points, and
And then if I bend it, right?
okay. Well, that's how it works.
No,
If I take the pencil and poke the hole through
this,
it,
is, this is how I get. Look, and somehow I ended up here. Explain that.
Right.
yeah, but no,
Science.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about more like the ship's in the center of a wave. And
He's holding out the paper, to be clear.
yeah, I'm holding paper and I'm like,
Okay.
I can't describe. I like whatever.
Bending it like a wave.
I'm showing this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you bend it like a wave.
Showing this guy.
And
Still a podcast,
The
everybody.
ship's in the center, and that's where space is normal, and like space is bent around the side, and it's just kind of like pushing you through space. So like the
So
wave
you're like
moves.
riding a space wave.
You're riding a space
that's
wave.
fucking
That's
cool.
Wait.
that's warp technology.
Can we-
Because
hold on.
You're
Hold on.
warping space around you. You're not warping through space. You're warping the space around you. Star Trek.
space.
He just dropped the paper, like dropping the mic, to be clear.
That did happen. Drop a paper.
With that being said, I I mean, I feel bad about continuing this, but I do want Alexandra to chime in here to a certain extent.
I didn't mean to, like...
No, you're...
Yeah.
Nikk, that was amazing. Thank you. I appreciate it. And may God have mercy on your soul. Wow.
Like the god that exists at the center of the universe or the galaxy, like they found in
The giant polygonal face in
the Final Frontier.
The Final Frontier.
Yep. Yep.
Star
Spock's brother
five?
finds God.
5 or 6?
So hibernation's cool.
Because every odd Star Trek movie's bad.
But at least the prophets have beards.
Did you ever watch Planet Earth? Did you ever? No? It was a good show.
Huh.
There's sections on hibernation.
The sequel's
that's
coming
cool.
shortly.
I got it. Yeah, that looks really good.
Did you want to chime in on this whole hibernation nonsense or?
I got my mental health piece in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all good.
I hope that if I were to go through space travel and hibernation, I would awake 90 years early with
Very minimal aging happening, or
no, with what's her name waking up with next to me also.
I'm sorry. What? I'm not sure what's her name is.
Passengers.
Sigourney Weaver?
No.
Oh, no. Sorry. I didn't know you were saying passengers. I was thinking aliens.
I know you're talking.
No. God.
I think her name is Chris Pratt.
Yeah. Chris Pratt.
Jennifer.
That's who I want. Yeah.
Jennifer Lawrence. Yeah.
Yeah.
J-Law. Yeah.
No.
Negative. That was probably ruled out in one of those slang meetings, right?
J-Law.
Well, there's it's like, do not refer to her as J-Law.
Well, there's
We
already
are no
Jude
longer
Law.
going to take couples and combine their names for the purposes of tabloids. Okay. Nobody remembers Bennifer? No.
No, I remember
Oh,
that.
I
Try
do.
not to. So.
I do.
We don't think about that.
I blocked that out.
Geely really ruined that for
That's
everyone.
what. True story. Fuck you, Kevin Smith. Fuck you. No. All right.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm not sure how to move on from here.
You just do
I'm
it.
having trouble. Yeah, we're gonna do it.
One step at a time.
That's right. Baby steps.
I say that every day.
Lightning round?
Should we take a break? Or are we not going to take a break? No, we're not going to take a break. All right. Apparently, it's the fucking Chico's Gulag, the Baton Death March. It's fine. All right, panel.
We'll do it anyway.
Yeah,
when
we
people
will.
come
We're
back
gonna
by
cut
now,
all
they
of
would have
this
already
out.
heard. No, they would have already heard the audible. And it's gonna be funny because our first time, so everyone can just be like, "What the fuck just happened?"
Yeah.
These guys aren't professionals.
Did I hibernate and catch up with it? No. All right. Here's how the lightning round works, everybody. We're going to take 2 quick topics and give each member of the panel a quick minute to chime in uninterrupted for the most part. At the end of each minute, we will award the panelist a quantity of some type of points based on 0 things in particular. Our guest will be responsible for awarding me points for my respective minutes.
Oh.
No pressure. Topic the A begins like this. How great would it have been if South Park, The Stick of Truth, included a Paris Hilton boss? I think we're all familiar with Paris Hilton as a caricature of herself in South Park. Yes?
Oh,
And
yes.
Mr. Slave, the whole thing?
Yeah.
Yeah?
But-
Great.
Oh.
I mean, who doesn't want to use their mighty flatulence to defeat horrific female role models? Right? Right. Let's think back to our extensive knowledge of South Park canon and think of any other bosses we would have liked to fart on that maybe didn't make the cut. You have 60 seconds to tell me who and why. You don't necessarily have to fart on them if you're uncomfortable with that. Whatever. It's natural. It's fine. Talk to me about your most desired, unincluded South Park boss. Video game style.
Are you looking at me?
I'm looking at you because I'm starting here and then we're going to come back this way.
Oh, hi.
So, Mr.
Okay,
Arroyo, 60 seconds, go.
I'd personally like to see Kanye West as Gay Fish.
Yes.
I think that I think that your main skill would be to call him gay and have him reject that that's a thing that he's not, and eventually it would wear him down and he would become a gay fish at the end.
Do you like fish sticks?
Yeah, basically. Basically, you throw fish sticks at him.
Yes.
And if
best
I mean, if we couldn't do the Kanye West thing, then I would like to see them go all the way back to like season 1 shit and do like Mecha Streisand or something.
That's
pretty good.
Because that's just like a cool callback for no reason. When they started, they did so many celebrity cameos where they just did it in their own voices just so they wouldn't get in trouble. And that was one of them where they just didn't even try to make it sound like her. I thought it was great.
Yep.
Anyway, gay fish.
I award you the yellow rainproof suit that the guy on the fish sticks box wears. Was it Mr. Hortons or whatever? Just so you won't get wet.
I know.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Digging deep.
Digging deep for the references. Deep cuts.
Because I'm a gay fish.
Can we auto-tune that somehow? All right. Yeah, it's pretty good. Mr. Golesh.
Hey, how's it going?
Talk to me about your most desired, unincluded South Park video game boss.
Well, I don't really know what bosses are in the game, so I'm just going to make up some real quick.
Yep. It's lightning round.
I got, I guess, 2, if that's allowed. The first one would be Jesus. I feel like would be a really good boss because it would be really awkward to like stand there and kill him. It'd be, but
The game would do it.
I'm with
It's
it.
not
They
out
keep
the
going.
realm of
the game would do it, and Jesus would like probably be asking you to do it for some reason, so like he could like
Die for everyone's
sins.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I need to die for everyone's sins because this game was ridiculous. So if you kill me, you'll be redeemed. Like it should say something like that.
That was an episode.
Was
by
that?
the way.
Yeah.
No, yeah, there was
He has Kyle do it.
Yep.
That's one of the best.
Yes, Kyle.
That's one of the best episodes. That's the Easter Rabbit one or something.
Yes,
yeah.
yeah.
And that was really good.
Juice.
Or
No, man, who's sorry.
Nick, I'm so sorry.
that's all right.
Go ahead.
The only
Who's
other one I think about is maybe the Trapper Keeper that absorbs Rosie O'Donnell at some point.
That's pretty good.
Such a good choice.
Stuff.
Yeah,
I
very
reward you the Spear of Destiny so that you, in whatever religion or form that you take, may murder Jesus appropriately for the sake of the South Park video game.
The Lance of Longulus? Same
It's the
thing.
Spear of Destiny.
It's the same. Well, that's not the actual name of it, is it?
No, it's just what Wolfenstein called it.
All right.
Yeah. Alexandra,
Okay.
talk to
So-
me.
Yeah.
Apparently, comments from the peanut gallery outside. I'm not sure if anybody can hear that, but there's people walking by the window at the moment. Please, 60 seconds. Tell me about your unincluded South Park boss that you want to fight and kill.
Okay, so I'm going to roll it back a little bit. First, I'm going to name the bookmobile guy, if you remember that, a.k.a. Chicken Fucker.
Yes.
Because, literacy is important, and I think for this guy, reading always comes first. So, choice one. Also, the Boy Scout Master, who comes off as aggressively hetero, but he's taking nude photos of the boys. So, when Big Gay Al's being like the best scout master ever. And then also just Nambla. I guess what I'm saying,
You want the old boy moment, just just plowing through Nambla,
yes, because I guess what I'm saying is, while I'm living under the regime of a renowned pussy grabber, I'd like to take down molesters with flaming farts.
Yes.
God bless flatulence at a time like this. Do you want
toot.
to give awards? You seem really excited about giving awards at this point.
I would like to give you a copy of Atlas Shrugged.
By
Ayn Rand.
Yeah.
I thought it was Anne Rind.
No.
No, I'm kidding.
I thought it was Atlas Shrugs or something. Not Atlas Shrugged.
It's Atlas
That's
Shrugged.
post tense.
He's all.
It happened already.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
it's not
referring-
happening.
I'm referring
Shrugged.
specifically to that episode.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
All right. Let me continue to explain the joke in case anyone. There's in the episode. No, I'm done.
Oh, I would.
No, I want you to. Thematically, it would be more appropriate if you actually did explain the joke.
He finally gets him to read. Mr. Garrison reads Atlas Shrugged after the book. Yeah.
Hooked on Phonics worked for me.
And he declares it the worst book he's ever read.
All right.
I've read it, by the way.
I'm not sure I need 60 seconds.
All right.
The only boss I think I want to fight at this point is Sparky, the dog that Stan doesn't want to be gay. Because it's ultimately, you have to fight the dog that you love, even though the dog may or may not love you back, or has a different idea of love than everybody else. I just feel like it'd be a really hardcore, decision making process or illusion of choice for a player to make. I'm not saying you should. I'm not saying that you shouldn't. I'm just saying that you have to make a hard choice about whether or not you have to kill the dog that you like that may or may not be gay.
It's like some old Yeller.
Right?
shit right
Like,
there.
yeah, like I'm just saying.
Would you like to award him points for that depressing?
No.
30 seconds?
Just bringing it back down. Just keeping it real, dude. All right? Don't be gay, Sparky. No, I'm just kidding. Be gay if you want, Sparky. It's fine.
What do you got for him?
It's not a choice. Born that way. It's
I
fine.
would like to give you this like rainbow I've had in my pocket for a
thank you.
time.
Did it come out of a unicorn's ass or
I got it in Whimsyshire. Like, to be totally transparent.
full circle, everybody? All right. Topic the B.
You can have a red rocket too.
Yes.
Red Rocket's
perfect. Perfect. Red Rockets for everyone. For everyone. The folks in
Consent to that.
Topic the B.
Woo! The folks at Jagex makers of RuneScape have converted one of their in-game quests into a spoken word murder mystery game that you can play by talking to Alexa, the assistant bundled with Amazon Echo devices. And whatever version of whatever device that Amazon wants to fucking push your way. Sorry, I had the Cortana Microsoft team here. I had to play favoritism to a certain degree. I'm not necessarily interested in what the context of the murder mystery case is. I am interested in how close this might be to the Orson Welles War of the Worlds situation, or having AIs even mentioning murder seems like playing with fire. Tell me if I'm just paranoid, or leave it at that. You've got 60 seconds to tell me why gamifying digital assistants is cool, or maybe not so much. We will let our distinguished guest close out the round.
See how he,
I'm
he
going
did
to
that?
start like this.
You trickster. I was all ready.
I'll start. We'll go the opposite way. I'll go me, and then go Nikk, Joe, and then Alexandra. Here we go. I feel like there's a whole bunch of fun gamifying things you can do with things like Alexa or Cortana or Siri or whoever you need to talk to get your shit done on a regular basis and feel like you're having an interesting conversation. I feel like when you start doing weird, interesting things like this, they become less interesting and become more weird. I sound like an old man. I'm afraid of things that I don't understand, and change is wrong. So let's understand one thing. If I have people or a person talking to me about a murder mystery when all I'm asking for is what horrible shit did Trump do today, or what is the weather like, or whatever, I don't necessarily need to hear who killed Colonel Mustard in the fucking library with a candlestick. You know what I mean? I'll play Clue for that, or I'll, Murdered Soul Suspect, or watch True Detective, something like that. I don't need all that shit. Gamifying shit is cool.
You're well over a minute, buddy.
Yeah, great. I'm the host. Kid gloves is what I'm saying.
All right.
Tread lightly.
Okay. For that, I give you a gilded rocking chair.
Oh,
Is there a glass of warm water to soak my dentures in right next to it?
No, but there is a hat you can wear that says "Make AI Great Again."
Ooh.
Got really dark in here.
It did.
What did
I'm
I
not
say?
sure if I should be offended or like, sweet new hat. All right, Mr. Golesh,
Hey,
you're next. You're next.
This is all right, I guess. I question the medium, I guess, of putting it on personal assistants because personal assistants are supposed to be. I think at some point we want to be able to like call the police with our Alexas, or I think Siri can already do it. I'm pretty sure Alexa can't yet. But to put like a murder mystery on a device that is supposed to be used for something like possibly calling the police, like, is there some kind of, I don't know, like how many people are going to be playing a murder mystery while they're getting murdered and they need to call the police with their Alexa device instead? Like, that's, I guess, the weird question.
It's a non-zero number.
It's a non-zero number, but it's probably a number we don't have to worry about. But I don't know. There are other things.
Thank you for corroborating my fear.
I don't know. I'm not afraid of it. I just think it's going to lead to some headaches, but it's kind of cool.
That's how change happens, I guess.
But I don't know. I don't want to play it on my Alexa either, I guess.
I award you a food replicator from Star Trek
Yeah.
that you can talk to like it's your personal assistant. But all you have to say is computer.
Like Tierra.
Right, because it's genderless, it's nameless, it's just there.
It's not genderless. It's played by Majel Roddenberry.
Yeah, if that's how you hear it, that's fine. I don't hear gender. I don't see it.
Oh my god. Okay.
Mr. Arroyo.
Fuck. What?
Second to last. Yeah, exactly.
Did you just call yourself gender deaf? Is that?
Yeah, that's pretty much what just happened.
Oh wait, is that?
Right.
I'm not supposed to do that.
Gender deaf.
Just wanting to make sure.
I don't see color. That means
I don't see co- I
I'm
mean-
colorblind. No, I'm
sorry.
actually colorblind. I see
I
black
don't
and white.
I don't see color and I don't hear gender. So there's a big problem here.
With your physiology.
And you don't smell racism?
and I can't touch sexism. So, all right.
Oh my god.
You should say I won't.
Covered all of them.
I'm not allowed. People don't let me touch sexism.
Can we do this? I don't even want a minute.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Here it comes. 60 seconds. Talk to me.
On what?
Whatever you want. It's lighting round.
Alexa.
Okay, I do like the idea of playing the games with the little in-home AI services and stuff. I actually did the J6 thing with Alexa at
Like dinner theater
Friend's house.
murder mystery. Yeah.
No, it's just Jeopardy's extended Clue that they do every day. So you can ask Alexa to play it, and then you play it, and then she's like, "That was the wrong answer," because I'm not that smart. And but I seriously, I cannot seem to get away from what Nick had to say. Where I'm just imagining that scenario where I'm like, play murder mystery game, and it's like there's a murder in your house. What do you do?
No, call 911.
This is what Alexa says. There's a murder in
literally
your
being
house right now, and at that time, a murderer comes in and they start stabbing you, and you're like, Alexa, call 911. She's like, you call 911. They don't respond. What do you do next?
Yep.
I'm like, I die? She's like, you died. Game over. Thanks for playing.
Do you have a safe
Have a
word?
good day.
Yeah,
Lord.
right? You need to be like,
Corner.
Alexa, banana.
Cacao.
Put a bird on it. Woo.
Murder, death, kill.
MDK, man.
MDK warning.
I award you 3 seashells that you can control your Alexa with.
I don't know how to use them.
Neither does Sylvester Stallone. All right.
So many references in like a 1 minute period there. It was like,
Oh,
It's
so
impressive.
good.
All right.
So good. Alexa.
Alexa.
Close.
Alexandra, please forgive me. But
that was
close out the lightning round in the episode for us, if you'd be so kind.
All right.
1 minute.
So,
Oh,
yes.
sorry. Now I'm interrupting.
Well, here we're down to 50 seconds now, so
Shit.
thanks. So
Start the clock
anyway,
up now.
so on one hand, I too love the idea of promoting oral storytelling and interactive at that. I mean, I feel like that legitimizes game narrative a little bit and gets people thinking creatively and critically, even if they don't consider themselves creative people. So I think on that hand, that's a really great thing to explore. But what I would love is if the past 3 months to have been an elaborate murder mystery, a classic whodunit America, and all we need is for one intrepid soul to whisper confidently into the echo to Alexa, Steve Bannon with a Trump puppet in the Oval Office, and it'll be over. She's done. We won. We solved it.
So we can reset the board.
That's all I have.
I
what do you get?
award you.
What? This is
I
Dragon.
have to think. I'm
You're like
sorry.
trying to be
I'm
delicate
actually
about
digging.
the-
I'm actually. I have to like go into my deep
safe
South Park
space.
Rolodex for a second.
I just
Oh,
keep
yeah.
like leaning
I-
more forward, like waiting for his answer.
Yeah. A radio moment.
Dramatic pause. I know turd sandwich was Hillary.
So give her.
So
What was the
it's
other one?
douche, right? It's
Giant
douche.
Okay.
I award you a giant douche covered in Cheeto dust.
Cheeto dust.
Because that's the South Park reference for Donald Trump.
Great.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
take that to the next rally. So
Right. However, those things can both be cleaned up and disposed of.
Oh yeah,
So,
Pretty good.
love it.
That was
right.
good.
So much political talk. We broke all of our rules tonight, guys.
Not really.
I mean, it was
No one knows what
gentle
we were talking
and
about.
literal.
When we said Steve Bannon and
Right. When we literally called out the things that we don't. Yeah, it's fine.
wait.
Our guests are given liberty to speak as they please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Right?
I agree.
I mean, we offer them guidelines, but it's up to them.
Yeah.
Right? Sure.
Keep going.
I think this was very productive. Full of references, a lot of callbacks, full circles all around. Guys, it's been a pleasure.
All around.
I mean, that's how full circles work. They're all around you.
But if there's more than one, how do you get from one to the other? Unless it's like a slinky.
It's
or
like the Olympics thing. There's a bunch of circles, but they're all interlinked to each other.
I'll let you guys debate it.
Those are rings.
They're circles.
I'm going to let you guys debate it. I think it's safe to say that episode 123 is all done. Alexandra, thank you so much. Sorry I called you Alexa. Best of luck with the new job. Let everyone know where they can hit you up on Twitter or get a glimpse of your work other than buying a Windows Phone.
Okay, well, God, my Twitter handle is so at Silken Moonlight, and then my website is alexandramlucas.com. So, yeah, come check it out.
Hit it up, everybody. And thank you, listener, for lending us your ears for an hour and change. Hit us up, cheatcodespodcast.com, Facebook, Twitter. Get in on the conversation. We love to hear from you. We actually got a lovely message today. From a young man from Tennessee saying how much he liked the show and was inspired to get into the industry, he said. And I'm not sure if that meant video games or podcasting. Either way.
Pretty sure it's games.
Well, that's how we started, right? So that's reliable. But
he can do both.
It was very validating. It felt very good. Yeah, it's not that hard.
So yeah, thanks for the positive feedback.
Yes, exactly. Which was super, super nice. So that's going to do it for us for now. Make sure to check out the Patreon page. You can become a patron for as little as $2 a month. We look forward to your donations or your feedback one way or the other. Thanks to everyone who's jumped on board so far. We're going to see you next week. When Chekhov saw the long winter, he saw a winter bleak and dark and bereft of hope. Yet we know that winter is just another step in the cycle of life. But standing here amongst the people of Punxsutawney and basking in the warmth of their hearths and hearts, I couldn't imagine a better fate than a long and illustrious episode of Cheat Codes. It's February 2nd, everybody. Something I said earlier, I don't know, but 2017, welcome to episode 123 of the Cheat Codes podcast. Thank you for tuning in.
I'll have a drink. What are you having?
I'm going to have a pee break. That's what I'm about to have. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. If you can still hear this and we haven't faded out yet, thank you. Good night.
Happy